me free. God has smiled on me. He's been good to me.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found, was blind, but now I see.
God has smiled on me. He has set me free. God has smiled on me. He's been good to me.
He's been good to me.
Faithful love flowing down from the thorn-covered crown makes me whole, saves my soul, washes whiter than snow. Faithful love calms each fear, reaches down, dries each tear, holds my hand when I can't stand on my own.
Faithful love from above came to earth to show the Father's love, and I'll never be the same, for I've seen faithful love face to face, and Jesus is his name.
Faithful love is a friend, just when hope seems to end. Welcome face, sweet embrace, tender touch filled with grace. Faithful love, endless power, living flame, Spirit's fire, burning bright in the night, guiding my way. Faithful love from above came to earth to show the Father's love, and I'll never be the same, for I've seen faithful love face to face, and Jesus is his name. For I've seen faithful love face to face, and Jesus is his Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that.
I want to go ahead and get into our lesson. I want to talk about my mission trip. Everybody has been asking how the mission trip go, and so that makes 100%. It went as mission trips do sometimes. So, and I don't like this, but this is what some of the other people who have been on this particular project in the past, they call it Flexico instead of Mexico. Flexico. You need to just flex and go with the flow. Yeah, and I don't like that. But things come up that you don't expect. Like the final activity we did as a group was to have a meal in town, and I guess it's primarily the water system is old and ancient, and so that's why you can't drink the water. There's nothing wrong with the water, but it's the system that delivers the water that's so old and there's so much bacteria and it needs to be replaced. But you know, how do you do that? I don't know. Maybe you just start one pipe at a time. But so they're cleaning their. I'm going to show you something. They clean their. They do their laundry, showering, clean up dishes with the water that comes in the system. And so that's the contaminated water. Yeah, and so the last event that we did together, the last activity was a meal at, I guess it was a nice restaurant for the standards of Mexico, but you know, to us it would be a place we might go, like a Jen's or something like that. Nothing specifically good, you know, as far as 5-star dining, but decent. So it was a decent restaurant. It came recommended, but 8 of our crew picked up illness from the food. And it could have been something in the preparation. It could have been the chicken was a little out of date. I don't know, but those things happen. So our trip back then to the border was complicated. There was a commode on the bus. It got filled up. Yeah, we had people who were really struggling. So those sorts of things happen on any good mission trip. We went to Baja, Mexico. The northern part, Baja, is divided into 2 states, North Baja, and they call it Sur Baja, or South. And we were in the southern part of the northern state of Baja. And I'll show you on a map where that is. So you see the arrow there, so it's right in that area right there. San Quintin was a larger town just north of where we were, but we were actually in Santa Maria. That's where we did most of our work, which is near Papalote, and they're all Santa Maria is off the highway. Here's the main highway. Papalote is the city east of where Santa Maria is on the freeway. So Papalote is on the highway. Santa Maria is off the highway. I think I have another picture of that. No, that's not it. That's what I wanted to do. All right. So that's where we were. It is an agricultural community, and so there was a lot of people who lived below whatever line of poverty that existed in Baja, and so the work of the church there is very important. Just want to go over my trip a little bit. We started off on Southwest Airlines. My first time to fly Southwest. That no assigned seating thing seems a little chaotic to me, but it actually worked well, especially if you get in Group A. So there's your flying hack on Southwest for the day. You get on Group A and you're first on the plane, which means you're first off the plane, which is good wherever you are. The organization we worked with was called Baja Missions. They started from a conversation between a gentleman named Rex and a gentleman named Stan. And Stan Stout and his wife were the directors of the City of Children. Are we familiar with the City of Children? Okay, so Rex, he's one of the leaders at the Mayfair Church of Christ in Montgomery or Birmingham. I think it's Montgomery though. They were
Alabama.
Yeah, in Alabama. Yes. Yeah, that's right. Not Baja. and they were talking about how they could take advantage of the lighthouse that the City of Children was. A lot of groups would go to the City of Children. They would be exposed to life in that part of Mexico. It's accessible to Americans, and so he thought they could go ahead and begin a mission of church planting, and they have 30 churches planted now in the northern part of Baja, and they have a good vision. The southern part of Baja is mostly desert, and so that would be a long, dry, hazardous, perhaps, ride. But there are two big cities in the southern part of Baja. One everybody's heard of, Cabo San Lucas. It's a tourist trap. They want to plant a church there, starting with then the southern part of Baja. And that's where they're going to start, and then they're going to move north as they can. But they want to create an anchor at Cabo San Lucas. Who wouldn't want to go work in Cabo San Lucas? But it's a hard place. It's a hard place to live. Baja California is a hard place to live, and so it would be. It seems like a challenge that we would want to go work at a place that has this tourist appeal, but there's really more to Cabo than the tourists, a lot more, and so that has the potential to really be a big deal for their organization. So that's who Baja is. When we got to the airport, we got on a bus, this bus, and we're stopped at a little convenience store, fuel stop on the highway. And that was big enough and comfortable enough for us to experience Baja from the safety of our motor coach. And so we had some good drivers going north and south. This was our first introduction to Mexico. It is the border crossing, and that's a hectic place, but it was very efficient. We were surprised sometimes when it comes to buses. They will make everybody get off, go through everybody's stuff, but they have scanning machines that scan your luggage just like at the airport. And so you get your luggage, you go through the check-in place, you show your passport, and then you take your bag, put it on the scanner, and if everything's good, you just get back on the bus and you keep heading for your destination. There are some things that are familiar that we've heard about. One is if you see in the background there, that's the wall. That's part of the wall that is separating Mexico and the United States. And it's actually a double wall. And just seeing that is kind of like seeing history. Just seeing the wall there. We're making our way south, and there were some familiar things that we saw along the way. Office Depot, Costco. This was an Ensenada. So if you went there and came to a point of yearning all things American, then I guess this would be a good place to go. What is this? A Burger King. A Burger King. You can see it just in the background right there. So you can even have it your way in Baja. There's a Michelin tire store. We're getting some feedback. Can we do something about that? This I thought was interesting. I don't know if you're familiar with this symbol right here, but this is the Alcoholics Anonymous symbol. So that is a clubhouse for Alcoholics Anonymous. Can you still hear me in the back okay? All right, we don't have that ringing. Let me know if you can't. Part of what makes it hard being there, and I would expect living there, is the wind blows, and there's very little grass. There's nothing to hold the grass down or the dirt down, so it just blows around. And I had a really hard allergic not episode, but dealing with allergies there, so I'm still working on that. So yeah, I thought that was interesting about the Alcoholics Anonymous organization that was there. There's the chevron. We're familiar with that. Pizza, Little Caesars Pizza. There was several of those. Now this is would be not so familiar. Does anybody know what that sign says? It says it's food China. So comida, China, yeah. So they have China buffets there. So if you get hungry, you can do that. This is the AM/PM of their region. This is Oxo, I think is how you say it, or it might be a hard sound, like K. And then there's this is one of the checks along the way, military checkpoint. That's intimidating to go through a military checkpoint, and they're ready. They are ready. They have machine guns, big machine guns set up. I was talking to somebody about they have technicals. You know what technicals are? They're pickup trucks with machine guns in the back of it. So those are kind of parked here and there. Wonder what those are for. And soldiers armed to the teeth, and so they stop vehicles along the way and just do a check of who is in that vehicle. This is kind of a nice picture. This is part of the scenery. Those are grapes in the foreground, and in the background, just beautiful mountains. And so some of the harshness is tempered by some of the beauty of the place. This is the fuel stop again, but look in the background. You got palm trees and mountains, and it's a very scenic place to visit. There's another picture of that same mountain. Here's some of the businesses on the main street on our way to Santa Maria. This is their grocery store, Kalimax. And so you go in there and you buy groceries. The Telcel is their Verizon, their big cell phone provider. Just some shops and some restaurants. That's a used car lot. Not much inventory there, but it's their used car lot.
Is this the little town you were based out of?
This is on the way there. These are all on the way there. The little town that we were in, there was nothing. You had to go up to the highway to the town of Papalote if you wanted to get some of this stuff. So some of these are from Papalote, some of these are from the little towns on the way there. There's a dormant volcano, and Neil, my friend Neil, had a hunch that in where we were in Santa Maria, it was very windy all the time, never stopped. This picture is taken from the road to Papalote. There's not as much wind in Papalote, and so Neil suggested it was probably because of the volcano, that it's a wind block. I don't know if that theory holds up. Yeah, I don't know. Now, this was interesting. When I did an aerial view, learning and discovering where I was actually physically going, I used Google Maps, the satellite, and the satellite mode, and it looked like you were looking down on a mini storage warehouse. That's what it looked like from the air. A mini storage warehouse. But it went on for literally miles and miles and miles and miles. North and south and to the east. And I thought, what is that? And I didn't ask anybody. I'd figure it out when I got there. But it was kind of weird. Like, I didn't know what it may have been. And so this is a picture from the bus of looking at it. What those are, in this next picture, greenhouses. Miles and miles and miles and miles of greenhouses. In our area where we were in Santa Maria, the greenhouses were owned by Driscoll. Are you familiar with that? Driscoll? Strawberries. There you go. Yep. And so that's where they're grown. And these greenhouses protect from the wind, and everything is so dirty. Everything is dusty. This little thing was inside a pouch inside my bag. Had dust all over it when I pulled it out. How did the dust get inside my little pouch, inside my bag? And my bag, this is the bag I took because I took my computer. There is dirt all over it just from being in it. And it's just incredible. So I would think that would be a bad place to raise crops. But if you put everything in greenhouses, in huge greenhouses, 20 miles of these things. And so Google Earth this, and just see what that is. Yes.
How wide are they, these greenhouses?
Well, I'd say they're about 20 feet wide, and then maybe 100 feet long. So they're huge greenhouses.
They're all separate?
And they're all separate. Yeah. It looked like it could have looked like a mobile home park, with all the trailers lined up and all parked next to each other. So it's a bizarre thing, and how much must have that all cost to put in the infrastructure to grow the strawberries? And but that is something that they can provide for the world market, and a lot of the people that we interacted with were workers at this, they were picking the food that Mexicans ate. Okay, I thought that would have been funny, but. Well, they probably, they're big multinational companies, so they can put in the filters and the systems that they need. And the water that comes out of the ground is, you just have to filter it a little bit. But it's the stuff that goes through the system that people use that is dirty. So they have wells, I'm sure. This is the place where we stayed, Mission Santa Maria, and it was built for Driscoll employees and management to have meetings, and it's probably one of the nicest motels or was it a hotel? Yeah, I guess it was more of a hotel in the area. It was it was a little bit different. They tried, but everything was dirty. Everything was dusty, so they tried to keep it clean. As far as that goes, it was built maybe 10, 15 years ago, and it could use a refurbishing a little bit. So looks, like a travel lodge as far as the accommodations. The restaurant had really good food, and that was important for us to be at a place that we could trust the food. Usually mission groups cook their own food, but we didn't do that because this hotel gave us a package that was very affordable for the team rate. Here's an aerial view of it, and in the foreground, at the bottom there is the ocean, and you can see the waves, and that's kind of how it is. It's not a beautiful place to go walking on the beach, but it has its own beauty. So we got there, unloaded our bags, and got ready for Sunday. And Sunday we spent with this is the church in Papalote. And there's been a lot of effort and a lot of money that has been put into this work. They also have, this is a very nice building by anybody's standards, very comfortable. This, along with the church building, is our classrooms. They have a clinic, and they have a school of preaching that's overseen by Sunset International Bible Institute. So, and they are well known in their community. So this organization is in Papalote, and the minister's name is Alfonso, and Alfonso's brother is Antonio, and he looks like a lean Ben Cartwright. It's very well-dressed and handsome man. The church in Santa Maria is going to be led by Hassan, and gringos, we call them Jason because we can't say Hassan. He was a mentor of Alfonso, and that's how they do it. establish the congregation. They pour resources. People from America come and help them with vacation Bible schools, with maybe working on infrastructure, helping them improve their facilities. They teach people the good news of Jesus. They identify a couple of individuals who can be leaders for the next congregations. And at some point, they make the decision and they send them off. And so Hassan will be pretty close to Alfonso as far as keeping in touch with his mentor. But Hassan is ready. He's ready because he was mentored by Alfonso. And I think I have some pictures of these guys. I showed you this. This is one of the streets in Santa Maria. This is, if you're coming home from work, this is where you drive. And we had an ongoing joke. We're in the 15 passenger vans. And there was a competition to see who could get up. So you're in the neighborhood, and then up at the top. So here's the neighborhood road. And you can see there are some things that are different from we would see in the United States. And so this is the road, and then up here is the main road. So this goes into the neighborhood, and this is the main road. And so going up this, so we would have a competition to see who could miss the potholes and not cause the vehicle to bottom out. And if they made it, we'd all clap, and if they didn't, we would shake our heads in despair. So this would be hard on a vehicle. This would be a hard place to live. This is La Iglesia de Cristo in Santa Maria. This is one of the projects that we did, is we made this sign that is out on that higher road that points then into the neighborhood where the place where the Christians meet is. This is a baptism that has taken place. This was just a couple of weeks before we arrived. The gentleman doing the baptizing, that's Hassan. And he's very active in ministry, in reaching out to people. And so he has taught this gentleman the good news, and the gentleman is being baptized. So that's Hassan. We pulled up. This is where the church will meet. You say it looks like a house. That's what it is. It's going to be a converted house, but they've already taken out the interior walls that are not load-bearing. And in the back of the property, you can see another structure. And that is going to be where Hassan's family will live. We did a lot of improvements. I couldn't get a picture. I thought I had taken one, but I couldn't get a picture of the final result of the work that we did there regarding the building. But we built a sign. This is my buddy Neil. He's up there trimming off the top of the 4x4. You have to build things sturdy to stand the wind. This is the crew that put in that little sign. Let's see. Okay, so these are a couple of kids. I knew their parents when I was in ministry in Washington. This guy's name is Panfilo. This is Miguel. This is Raul. And this is Hassan. And so these gentlemen will be committed to helping Hassan build and edify and grow the congregation. This fellow right here, I wish I could speak Spanish, but I did get one of the interpreters to help me. Raul was in prison for 10 years. He had a pretty rough life. And he said, I did some really bad things. And so when he went to prison, this was in Tijuana, he said that he knew that he needed to change. And a Bible was available to him. And so he began to read the Bible. And he decided a lot of things needed to take place as a result of that. And if you compared what Raul discovered if you compare what Raul discovered to the teachings of the Church of Christ, they would have been identical. No one taught him. He did not get any assistance from anybody. The prison guards made fun of him. But he became a New Testament Christian in prison, just reading the Bible and then figuring out how he needed to do what he's going to do. He found a way to be baptized. He asked, after 2 years of asking, he asked, can we start a group? And they would say, no. And he kept being persistent, and finally they said, yes, you may start a group. And he had a church of 12 wayward souls in that prison. Was that AI talking to monitoring my speech? All right. So 12 people. 12 people that he then would. Yeah. Who is listening to us? Is that the man listening to us there? 12 people became Christians in the time he was there for the next 8 years. And each one of them has the same passion for the Lord that Raul does. Raul is studying in the school of preaching there in Papalote. And so he's got 1 more year, and when he's done, they're going to send him out to start another church or backfill maybe in a congregation that needs a minister there. And they're doing it right as far as that goes, but he is really an amazing person. He's got an amazing story. And so I tried to encourage him the best I could. I was just floored. He shouldn't be alive. He shouldn't be alive. But God led him to become a child of the Father. And he's going to do great things. He's a generational player. I love this picture. Kind of looks like, the crew, don't mess with us, or we'll drill you, or I see Miguel has 2 drills, and I thought that was pretty funny. He's like, come on. The building, the house needed some pretty drastic repairs. This is on the back side where a lot of the stucco had just fallen off. And when we had gotten there, we were thinking, what could we do to put a Band-Aid on it? And what we decided is, let's just get the outside looking good. And actually, we did some stuff on the inside too. We put up ceiling fans. They have good electrical codes, wiring codes in Baja, but they're not based on science or principles of wiring. So they did some of that and got some of that in order. This is a gentleman putting stucco. He brought his kids to the Vacation Bible School, and he's just sitting there, and he saw what they were doing. He said, "Let me help." And so he just went to town and taught a couple of our people how to put stucco. And that's just cement over bricks, cinder blocks. And here you can see it's starting to dry, but we're starting to paint. My understanding is that color is periwinkle. Would you guys agree that's periwinkle? I called it purple, and they said, no, it's periwinkle. And this is some work around the front of the house. But that was all finished. Like I said, I thought I took a picture of it, but I couldn't find it. Here's a picture of their watering system. A truck comes by every couple of days, fills that up, and then right now, they come out here to get the water that they need for the project or the task that they're doing. This is not potable, so you don't drink this. This is what you do your washing and stuff in. But that's how they get their water for the most part. For drinking water, you buy 5-gallon jugs that we have, and you have a dispenser. And so for drinking, for cooking, other things, they get that water, and it's been filtered and cleaned, and then it's safe. So we helped them with their building. We also had a clinic where they did some basic medical checks for people. So this is a couple of folks from the congregation in Puyallup, Washington. This guy here, I saw him and I said, "Who are you? I know you." But I didn't know him, but I knew his dad. His dad and his mom were kids in the area youth group, and that's Jeff and Rebecca. Neiswanger is their last name. And I said, "Wow, you look just like your dad when he was your age." And so that was a good connection there. Enjoyed that very much. They had a little dental clinic. I love their improvisation here for, you can come in, sit down, and then they put the lounge chair back and they work on you. And they built the little platforms to get a little bit higher. And the people who come and do some of this medical work are sent by the health organization in their county, what they call their county. So the people that sometimes help are not Christians, but they see the good things that God's people are doing, and some of them are moved to make a commitment to the Lord. This is just a table of basic medicine. And they had some Zyrtec for me. My allergies were raging there. So they helped me out. And they cut people's hair. And Raul, that's Raul right there. He learned how to cut hair in prison. So there you go. This is Hassan preaching. We met underneath this awning while they were working inside. We met underneath this awning. The blue tarp is there because the wind was insane. Very, very, very difficult right now. It'd be nice when they get their facility all put together and ready to go. Beautiful picture. This is one of the pictures I took on the way back of Ensenada. And so there are some beautiful places in Baja, and there are some places that need some work. I have never taken a picture of food in my life, but you have to agree that looks delicious. And it was. They called it Chipotle chicken. And it was all delicious. The vegetables are local. It is chicken, and one of the people who got sick had this dish. I just think they had a bad box of chicken that they needed to move through the stock and rotate out, and our people got it. It was plum chicken that made a lot of people sick. Plum chicken. It was sliced chicken with a red sauce over it, maybe made of plums. I don't know. Anybody know what plum chicken is? Brandon, what's plum chicken? What's plum chicken? Oh, okay. All right. Well, you're the cook, so if Brandon don't know, we don't know. So, but it was delicious. Everything is fresh, grown in the area. The vegetables were very good. Those potatoes were good. The chicken was good. I don't know the green stuff inside this, but it was good too. And so that is about it for now. We're going to talk a little bit about this in our lesson this morning. I appreciate the people who covered my responsibilities while I was there. It was a good experience. I think we should maybe some of us who might be able to be a part of the team next year.
Does our congregation support this?
No. Our friends Neil and Belinda, and you may have remember meeting them, are leaders, and they invited me to join them. So that's how I made the connection. And that may be a discussion, but they need people. And these mission projects can do a lot of good for us individually as followers of Jesus, to encourage us, help us to get our mind focused on what's really important and what the Lord's church is all about. Appreciate your attention, and we're done with this time for now.